So we've had our first night at our homestay called Ya Yai at Nam Tok, and if you're going to come up and explore the Death Railway of more than just a day trip, then an overnight or two at Nam Tok is probably a very good idea, because we're not far from Hellfire Pass, which is just about as far as the original Death Railway goes. So we're just going to have some breakfast. We've hired a scooter from the homestay for the time that we're here, which is now going to be 4 nights, and we're going to go and explore Hellfire Pass. So we're just getting our scooter sorted. We're up to the H's when I'll be naming the scooters, and this one's going to be called Herbie. Herbie makes complete sense.
Herb Special.
Yeah, Herb Special. So here's a bit of a view of our homestay. We're upstairs and our room is off to the right there. So we made it on our scooter ride. It was about 20 k's?
Yeah, it's about 20 k's.
20 k's from our homestay to the Hellfire Pass Memorial Museum. So here we are at Konyu Cutting, which is known as Hellfire Pass, nicknamed by the prisoners of war. So Scott, can you give us a little insight as to why it's called Hellfire Pass?
Well, mainly because the guys had to work 18 hours every night, and they put lamps on the side and it looked like hellfire, and that's how they got the name Hellfire Pass.
They thought that this resembled the path into hell.
And this is where they come down for Anzac Day.
And I think this is the largest cutting on the whole Death Railway.
Yeah, and these rails are relayed, and these are similar to the rails that were here when they laid the rail.
So all these cliff walls here were dug out and drilled all by hand.
You can see the dormer.
Yeah. You can just imagine what this must have looked like with the fires going, casting the shadows up the walls. It would have looked like the pathway to hell. Felt like it too, no doubt. And then just every so often you can still see the original sleepers laid by those prisoners of war and all those Asian labourers, which we must not forget about. So we're looking at a small valley, and I'm now standing on a stone embankment which every single rock and stone here would have had to have been brought here by hand by the prisoners, and across this gap to the steps on the other side would have been a trestle bridge built by the prisoners to go across this valley. And there's quite a few of these trestle bridges remains along the track.
I'm just walking through now what was the base of another bridge. As you can see as it walks up in front of us, still see bits of the foundations in that as you walk along. Most of them are what were known as like wooden type trestle bridges. You can understand if there's a lot of water come through, a lot of rains, and that would have destroyed them. So it would have been hard work for the prisoners back then, building it. And they didn't have steps like that we've got to get up and down at the moment.
So we've reached the end of the walking track for the railway, and in behind me you can see that it disappears into bush and is quite overgrown. And so at this barbed wire fence here is a no-go zone. This land behind me is owned by the Thai military, and so no public access is allowed. But this is where it continues its way over the Burmese border, and I think we're only about 35 kilometres from the border of what is now known as Myanmar, so it stretches on past me. But a large chunks of the track are actually submerged in a lake now that a new dam was built further on up the trail. So we've made it. Quite hot and sticky. Scotty's listening to his audio.
The last audio.
And if you are thinking of ever coming to do this, make sure you get the audio that accompanies you, because it is amazing, and it points out so many points of interest, and you would never know if you didn't have the audio to listen to along the way. So that's my tip of the day: get the audio. It's all free, you don't have to pay anything, you just leave your ID. Scotty left his driver's license with them at the desk, and we just pick it up when we get back. So according to my Garmin tracker, we've done a total of about 3.8 k's one way, so that gives you an idea of how far the walk is.